Welcome back to the Crochet Karate as well as my friends over at yarnspirations.com. Today is the Golden Waves Throw. This has been designed by Marianne Forrestal, and today we're going to be going through this particular concept, which is a 2-line repeat. So without further ado, let's go to page number 3, and you can download this as well, and it has all the written instructions as you see, but the diagram is what I'm concentrating on today. Okay, before we head to the diagram, you're going to notice is that there's a beautiful texture work, and you'll see that the lines are working with each other. You're actually seeing 2 sets of crisscrosses that are working together to create this texture look. One crisscross will always stay on the one side and the other crisscross will always stay on the other. So when you get to learn this pattern, you're gonna be able to kind of see how that's gonna work out, and then once you understand it, it's gonna become easier for you. So let's take a look at the diagram, which is the next page, page number 3, and this is what we're looking at here. If you'd like to change the size of this particular blanket, you can do so by chaining in multiples of 10 plus 3. So you go 10, 10, 10, and when you're satisfied, just add 3 more chains, and then this pattern will be in balance. So what we have here is that we have 2 rows here that is making up this one. The stitch key has the instructions on how to be able to do this, but what I want to concentrate on most is concentrating on showing you what this means right here. If you look carefully here in row number 2, you're going to notice is that when we start over, we're going to make sure that these lines stay on the same side. So this treble is going to skip 2 of these singles. This is kind of the old way, these X's on how single crochet was done in the old days, but you know, just because it's an old pattern doesn't mean it cannot be you know, functional for today. So you're gonna skip 2 single crochets, and you're going to reach over and you're gonna do 2 trebles, and then you're gonna do 2 trebles, then coming back and getting the 2 stitches you skipped. And then when you go to do the next one, here's the difference. This time you're gonna reach over, and then this one is gonna be in front. So what we want to do is that we wanna make sure that they stay in balance with each other. So do you see how these 2 are in front and these 2 are in front and the other 2 are in the back? So it's not the same thing when they go to crisscross when they're like this. So when you look at the next one, you'll see that the first 2 cross over, and then the other 2 are in behind, and then when we go to do the next one, we do the first 2, and then these 2 stay in the front side to create that look. When you move up to then the 3rd line, then you want to keep this line here on the front side. So when you go to chain up and you do your double crochet, when you skip over, you're gonna do your trebles over, but these 2 need to be in the front here to match up these here, and this is what's creating that diamond shaped look that you see on the front of the blanket. So once you become to understand this pattern, it gets a lot easier and you'll see what you need to do. I will tell you, I'll be completely transparent, when there's an easier way of doing crisscrossing, but because the fact is that you want to create this design, it's a little bit awkward, but you cannot have this design without experiencing a little bit of awkwardness. So that's something that you should be aware of. You may be complaining on social media, but the fact is that in order to get this kind of look, you have to be a little bit inconvenienced too. So without further ado, let's grab our crochet hook. I'm gonna show you a little bit of a multiple here, and we can talk about doing the whole thing too. So the yarn of recommendation is Red Heart, and it's called Classic. That's the name of the yarn. I'm using Caron 1 pound here, and I'm also using a 6mm size J hook. The pattern suggested a 5.5mm size I crochet hook. You decide. So what you want to do is that you want to chain, and so if you're gonna do this and you want this exact sample, just chain 133, and you'll see that's a multiple of 10, then there's that adding 3. So if you want to change the size, it's still just multiples of 10. So let's do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's one multiple. Am I happy? Yes or no? If not, keep on going. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Once you're satisfied with that, you just have to add 3 at the end. But here's my thing. Please do not email me and ask me to tell you how many multiples you need for a certain size blanket. All I would suggest to you is just keep doing your multiples of 10, and then just lay it down on an existing bedspread that you may have, and if you lay down the chain, that should be the size of your blanket. So please do that. So let's go across our first row, and let's begin to do that next. To do our first row, we're gonna go 2nd chain from the hook, turn it over and get the back hump of the chain. It just looks nicer, and just come into the back hump only, and I want you to single crochet yourself all the way across on the back hump only. Once you have the first back hump, the second one and all the remaining will just stay turned over, and you'll see that it's very easy to access, and it will give you a nice finishing look for the edge of your blanket. So 1 single crochet in each of the chains going all the way across, please. So I'm just coming up all the way across my chain. I've done 1 single crochet in each, and I'm gonna finish that, turn it, and we're gonna bring back the diagram and get you started on row number 2. So row number 2, here we are. We're going to chain 3, and that's gonna count as 1 double crochet, and you're going to do 1 double crochet in the next single crochet. We're then going to do our crisscross. So we're gonna skip 2, and we're gonna do a treble, and then we're gonna then treble into the next. We're then going to come back, and then we're gonna get the ones on the underside here, and we're gonna do that from behind. Then we're going to do the next 2. So we just immediately, once you get those 2, just skip the next 2 and come into the next 2, and then these 2 we wanna make sure that they're in front. So when I'm done this particular section, you should see that this one leaning and this one leaning should be on the same side of the project. We're then going to go into the middle. There's a separator of 2 double crochets in a row, and then again doing the same thing. So it's gonna be the same look, so you gotta just match them as you go along. So this is row number 2. This is part of the repeat. So when you need to repeat this row, just be back here to this part of the tutorial. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, and we want to double crochet in the next stitch. So there we go. So now we're gonna do a treble, and in order to do the treble we need to skip over 2. So 1 and 2, and just go to the third one. So wrap the hook twice in order to do a treble, and go into the third one away, and just pull through 2, 2, and 2. It's a longer stitch in order to create that look. And then what we want to do is treble into the very next one after that. So they're always in pairs, really, if you think about it from that perspective. Now it shows us that the next 2 in the diagram are behind. So what we have to do is that we have to treble, and we have to come back all the way to the first one that skipped. So we're gonna wrap the hook twice, and these ones are easier to grab. You just turn the project over and access that stitch and just treble as normal. Once you get more in your hand, it's easier to hold, and then we're gonna treble into the last skipped one. So there's only 2 skipped ones if you think of it from that perspective. So we see that the first 2 are now in the front, and the other 2 we just did are in the back, and that matches the diagram. We're now going to immediately skip the next 2, and we are going to treble into the third one after that. So we just go immediately in. So we don't necessarily have to worry about what's in the front or back on the first trebles going in. It's how we place the second set. So we know that these 2 here are on the front, so we know that this next 2 have to be in the front side as well. So when we wrap the hook, we're gonna come in to the first one that skipped, and we're just gonna come jump down. Again, a little awkward, but make sure that you do not you just have to pull it up, but make sure that you do not go behind these other 2 trebles that are just sitting there. It gets you will get used to this motion as well. It's not something that you do every day, of course. So you do the first one, and then you do the second one. So by all said and done, the trebles should be on the same side. So you see the first one's leaning over, this one's leaning over, and the other 2 are in the back. The next 2 are just going to be double crochets. So immediately starting the next 2, and then we're gonna do what we just learned one more time. So we know that we have to skip the first 2. So we're just gonna skip the first 2 and then treble. And then we come to the next one, because they're always working in pairs. And then you can just look to what your other side was, and you know that these have to be leaning over. So these have to be in the front side to match this. Do you see that there? So that means that the next trebles going in, you have to access it from the back side to keep those in the back. Just like that. Then immediately you start the next one. So just wrap in the hook, skip the next 2, and start trebling in, and then get the first pair in there, and then we'll worry about if it has to be in the front or the back. And at this case you know it's gonna be in the front, because you're probably getting used to it already. So you see that this is in the front, so that therefore this one coming off should be in the front too. So wrap the hook and just access it from the front side. and you're just gonna do that all the way across. So this is one row of the repeating of 2 rows. I'm noticing that I'm only picking up the front loops when I go to do this, but I will get used to it. I'm sure of it. So you got that. So it looks like it matches each other. So then the last 2 here, that when you get all the way to the end, will just be a double crochet. And if you have more to do, just 2 double crochets and then just keep repeating what you already know. And this is what it looks like at this point. So let's move along to row number 3. So we're now gonna move on to row number 3. So row number 3, we're gonna chain up 3 counts as the first double, and then we're gonna double into the next. We're then going to skip 2 and then coming up over, and then it's the second one that we have to worry about. So we wanna make sure that it stays on the same side of each other. So when we're looking at this project, we wanna look at it so that those 2 are leaning inward. So they're gonna be opposite to what we were doing here. Okay, so that's just an easy way to remember that, and then just go along. So let's try number 3 and let's see if you got it today. So let's turn our work. So here we go. So let's begin, and what we're going to do is that we are going to chain 3 that counts as your first double, and then you are going to put in a double into the next. So let's put in our first treble. So we're just gonna skip 2 and immediately just treble into the third one away, and we're gonna do the next one after that as well, and then we're gonna make a determination what we're looking at. So what we are looking at here is that if you look at the photo, these ones that are leaning now should stay on the front side. See how this is on the front? These have to stay on the front. So it's matching. So this is gonna zigzag all the way up. So we immediately come into the first one that we skipped from the back side in order to keep these ones here in the back. Okay, and we're gonna do the next one. Okay, and then what we want to do is that we want to treble, so we want to skip the next 2, go to the third, and then make a determination of where we are. So we're having to make sure that these stay on the front. So this is on the front side, so we want to make sure the ones coming off in the other direction will stay on the front. So that means that we have to access it from the front side. See, normally in cables, when you turn, you just always do the same thing, but in this case you have to be thinking about the direction of what side you're on in order to keep this look consistent. So you can see it kinda looks like a star. So now you're just gonna double crochet in the next 2 double crochets and then restart. So without having to think too much, just immediately wrap the hook twice, skip 2, go to the third. And you will get used to this pattern, and then just come and make a determination. This is in the front, this needs to stay in the front. So what we have to do is access the 2 that you skipped from the back. It might be easier to see it in person than it is here on camera today. So you immediately got that one done, so you can see it's consistent, and then you're just gonna immediately skip the next 2 and treble into the next one after that. So we have to make a determination, where is the next one gonna be? It's gonna be accessing it from the front side here, because to keep it on the front. So just jump straight down and grab it. And you're gonna go all the way across doing this concept, and the next 2 double crochets in a row. So you just want to keep doing that all the way, and that was row number 3. So make sure you go into the turning chain at the end in order to finish off the row. So let's just turn our work and let's see what it looks like on the back side. So on the back side it looks right. So what we need to do then is go back to how we did row number 2. So let's just chain up 3, counts as a double, and then we're gonna double crochet into the next, and then we're gonna start the fun stuff. So immediately just skip over 2 and treble into the next 2, and then we'll make a determination where things need to just stay on. So if you're following it, see the line, it's in the front, front, front. So this has to stay in the front, so the ones that you skipped over need to come in from the back. So it's not a hard pattern to identify where you are and the steps that you need to take. Okay, and once you get the one done, just immediately wrap the hook twice, skip over the next two, go into the third. Okay, make a determination. Is the next one gonna be in the front or the back? Well, you have to keep it in the front, because if you follow this one up here, front, front, this one has to be in the front. So wrap the hook twice and just drop down and pick those up. Okay, and once you get that done, immediately just double crochet in the next two double crochets. So you're at a spacer point. And then go again. So just wrapping the hook twice, just skip over two, put it in first, and then make a thought process. Your mind will be clicking after you get to a certain point. So you follow it front, front, front. Okay, so let's keep it on the front. Therefore the other two must be in the back. Okay, and then just skip over the next two and just go into the third one. Put it in first and then make a determination if you're going front or back. And at this point you probably should already be identifying you're going in the front. So front, front, this one has to stay in the front, so just immediately drop down. So this would be how to do this pattern. We're gonna quickly review on how to do the border on this. This particular stitch is really quite awesome. It's got quite a bit of texture to it and it's great. So just immediately just double crochet in the next two double crochets that you have. And that would be how you would do this particular concept. So it's actually pretty easy, and let's just talk about the border next. So let's cover doing the border. So eventually you're gonna come to the very end and you're gonna be happy and satisfied. So you're gonna turn your work and you're just gonna put one single crochet in each of the stitches going across. So chain one and one single crochet in each, and that will put that in balance with the base one, with the base that you will have. And then we're gonna then turn our work and then begin to do the final two borders that are required in order to finish this. So we're just coming up to the very end. Just go right to the turning chain and then you're good to go. You're gonna turn your work and we're gonna start the first round of the border. So you see it looks even. So what we want to do then is that we want to chain three, which counts as a double crochet, and then you want to put two more double crochet in the same stitch. Now I know as an experienced crocheter that it's not enough to have just three here in the border, so we're gonna be adding more to that later. So we're just gonna do one double crochet in each of the stitches all the way across, and then I'm gonna take you through the first corner and then talk to you about a side edge, and then I'm gonna leave the rest of that for you. So let's just continue that in just a moment. Okay, when you get all the way across, you're just gonna go immediately then right into the last one, which is next, and you wanna put in three double crochet. So 1, 2, and 3. So that's not enough to turn a corner. So what you're gonna do is just come on the side of that double or single or of this stitch, and you were going to put in two more double crochets. So 5 is kind of the magic number for turning a corner for double crochet. So now it's telling you, the designer saying that it's 2 double crochets for every post, except for every fourth one you should add 3. So in this case I don't have that. So what you want to do, you're essentially just equaling the spaces, but she's giving that recommendation. So just 2 into each, and then every fourth one she's recommending to put in a third so that it just stays equal with each other. Okay, so use that as a recommendation. In my case I don't have that much to show you there. So then you're gonna come into the very first the next corner. So you're gonna just start off in the side of that single crochet, put in 2 and then turn, and in the top of that single crochet I want you to put in 3, and that will turn the corner once again. And then you're on the base here, because I had you put it in the back loop only, you're gonna have a nice set of stitch work to play with, and it will look nice and even, and just do 1 double crochet in each going across. So I want you to complete the rest of this round, and then I'll see you at the next round. There's only one more round to do. Once you come back to where you started, don't forget that you still have to put in, remember how we put in 3 right at the very beginning here? So what we need to do is in the side of that single crochet, just place in 2 more double crochets and that will help you turn the corner. And you're going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 to finish. Once you have that done, we're just gonna do one more round, and so you'll see that it looks pretty even as you're going, so there's no camera tricks here. And so the very final round, nice and easy, just chain up 1 and working in the back loops only. Now we're immediately on the 3rd one of the, because where we slip stitched. So what I want you to do is put in 3 in the back loop only, 3 single crochets. So if you're not familiar with what back loop is, if you're new to crochet, there's 2 strands and together they equal a stitch. If you come into the strand that's closest to you, that's the front loop, and the other one furthest away from you is the back loop. So you're just gonna apply 1 single crochet in the back loops all the way around, except for the very middle one of the grouping of 5s in the corners. You're gonna apply 3 double crochets, sorry, 3 single crochets into that one, and this will provide a little simple little bit of a line to complete your border. You can add tassels just like you see in the photographs if you wish. That's completely your call if you would like to add that or not. There are videos here on on our YouTube channel with how to create a tassel if you'd like to do so, and there's also written instructions in the pattern as well for that. So you're just gonna go in the back loop only and 3 into the grouping of 5. When you come all the way around, you've already done your 3 here, so just slip stitch to the first one, fasten in your ends, and this is good to go. So this is how you do the Golden Waves Throw done in gray. Have a good day. We'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.